Greetings and salutations, loyal viewers of this channel. My name is Sean, and while on this channel, I really do try to focus on stories when they relate to criminal justice that have an overall policy implication to them, something that we can point to as a bad law that just doesn't work, that if we changed could have prevented something like this from happening in the future. I have to be perfectly honest with all of you. This is one of those. The headline was too insane for me to not look into it, and because of that, I'm going to bring you the story of a crazy woman who was caught running an unlicensed dental office out of the kitchen of her very tiny one-bedroom apartment, not in the city of New York, but on Long Island. Now, we're going to get into this, but before we do, I want to thank everybody who supports this channel via actualjusticewarrior.com/join.
Give me the money. Give me the money, okay?
A woman on Long Island is now facing charges after police say they busted her for running an unlicensed dentist office out of her one-bedroom apartment.
Yeah, this is what it looked like inside 70-year-old Gladys Serrano's home. Police discovered a dentist chair in the middle of her kitchen surrounded by drawers full of instruments, including empty vials of medication and used dental needles.
This afternoon, we're learning more about some of the operations she performed.
So I want to make something 100% clear from the jump in relation to this story, and that is as follows. I, Sean Fitzgerald, owner and content creator of The Actual Justice Warrior, your wonderful presenter for today's show, do not condone or embrace, nor do I participate in victim blaming. I think if you are victimized by a crime, that is bad enough on its own, and I want you to come forward to ensure that other people are not victimized. And by the way, in this particular story, there are other potential victims that need to step forward in order to make sure this person is held accountable for their actions. And now that that has been said, and that has been made 100% clear, going forward, I just want to make it clear to all of you out there in the audience that when you step into somebody's apartment for complicated dental surgery and they decide that they're going to have their dental chair behind a dirty curtain in a kitchenette and that chair looks like it came out of the garbage, maybe, just maybe, you're not in the most legitimate place to have your dentistry worked on. In addition to that, I will also point out that unlike regular ordinary medical insurance, dental insurance is actually quite inexpensive. In fact, I live in New York City. I bought a dental policy on the individual market, which is the most expensive way to buy it. I did so with a high cap of $2,500 a year that can be spent on my dental work. And guess what? It was $600. $600 a year in one of the most expensive cities in the world to live in. You can afford it, and it is worth it. Please get your teeth taken care of. Check them out. Teeth problems are not something that you should ignore. They can lead to serious medical complications. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's get more into this story.
Nassau County District Attorney Ann Donnelly says so far they know of one victim, but tonight they're possibly searching for more. A seemingly cluttered kitchen with a hanging curtain. On the other side, a surgical patient chair near a sink. Drawers filled with extraction tools, impression molds, and expired vials of numbing lidocaine registered in Colombia and El Salvador. Investigators say it's all part of a makeshift dental office operating illegally out of apartment 2C in Hempstead.
Look, so first of all, I just want to apologize to everyone who has a weak stomach. Maybe I should have put a disclaimer that what we're going to go over is very unsanitary and downright disgusting. But if you guys aren't catching what you're supposed to be seeing in these images, those are the drawers in which those instruments were kept in that are on display at the evidence table that the district attorney is presenting to the public, meaning that all those instruments were mangled within one another. In addition to that, I will remind you, for my podcast listeners, that this chair is located right next to the sink in the kitchenette where this woman prepares her own dinner and presumably washes her dishes. If you guys are unaware, you're supposed to sterilize dental tools. They're supposed to be wrapped separately, and that is to prevent contamination of somebody's mouth of the other tools. And the fact that this wasn't done is just horrifying. Again, please, people, take my advice. Go get your teeth cleaned regularly. Take care of your teeth. But please, for the love of God, if you walk into the dirtiest one-bedroom apartment that you've ever seen, although that's a bit of an exaggeration about this place, and some woman pulls out the tools for your mouth from a place that is right next to her air fryer and where she washes her dishes, get out of there. You're better than that. I believe in you. I will support you. I have love for you. Please love yourself. yourself enough to leave this location?
It's a dangerous, dangerous street she was walking down. You infect somebody with using one of these tools in their mouth, and you could kill them.
Nassau County District Attorney Ann Donnelly says 70-year-old Gladys Serrano was arraigned yesterday and charged with 1 count of unauthorized practice of a profession, practicing unlicensed dentistry after allegedly charging a woman nearly $2,000 in July after extracting 5 teeth from her mouth inside her 1-bedroom apartment.
So unsanitary and so frightening for people who might have gone there.
Look, everything about this is absolutely disgusting, and honestly, the least relevant thing about this story to me probably is going to have the most significant charges, and that is the fact that she was bringing in medicines from South America, from Latin America, but to me, the disgust factor of actually injecting those medicines into people's mouths with dirty needles far exceeds that. Using dirty scrapers, oh my god, it's absolutely gross from every possible angle that you look at this. But in addition to that, she extracted 5 teeth from a woman's mouth and then charged her $2,000, which, by the way, is not even that significant of a discount. And by the way, if you can't afford the dental insurance annual plan that I just pitched you, I just want to point out that Medicaid covers basic dental services, and extractions are basic dental services. They're not typically complicated procedures, and if they are complicated procedures for your specific situation, you definitely don't want to have that in somebody's kitchen in their Hempstead apartment. In addition to that, I will also point out that dentists want to save your teeth. An extraction is a last resort in many cases. So the fact that this woman was diagnosing people with a need of an extraction and then performing that extraction again in her kitchen, in her apartment, that she didn't even bother to sweep in is just horrifying. Look, professional licensed dentists will sometimes make mistakes that require an emergency correction in order to help you. In this particular case, if she would have nicked something or sewn something up improperly, caused an infection, it's her apartment. She's not the qualified person in order to deal with that. So you're just going to end up going to the emergency room, being referred to an emergency dentist or something as a solution, which is what happens, by the way, when you go to a real dentist and you happen to have that problem emerge when they're not in the office in the first place. Wouldn't you rather get it done professionally first? Wouldn't you rather do a Medicaid dentist? Again, they're not highly rated. I know people who experience them that have horror stories, but over this, that's so much better. And again, it's a last resort to pull out your teeth. Please, people, preserve your teeth. Take care of your teeth. Go to your regular cleanings. I know this is becoming a PSA, but it's horrible.
Serrano's apartment building is on a busy Greenwich Street. We went in to try to knock on her front door. No one answered. We later noticed it was padlocked.
So yeah, they end up showing up at the apartment to do one of those sandbag interviews. And honestly, in this particular case, even though these are allegations, or as the super mayor would call them, allegations,
off of hearsay, false allegations, and not facts.
At this point in time, because let's be honest about this, even though she is accused, innocent until proven guilty, if she was wrongfully arrested for running a makeshift dental operation because she actually had the dental chair and all the dental tools and all the medications that were definitely not properly kept or obtained in the United States of America in her apartment for legitimate reasons, I can't think of those legitimate reasons. I don't know. Maybe you guys can think of something and tell me down in the comments below. But right now, I'm at a loss for any kind of innocent explanation. But as you saw right there was actually a lock on the outside of her apartment, probably put there by people gathering evidence or by the apartment manager. Imagine if this is also a squatting situation. This woman wasn't legally allowed to be there on top of everything else. Who the hell knows? But yeah, it's crazy. It's disgusting. And the neighbors have the right of it.
It's unbelievable. It's something that shouldn't have been done.
Joseph Dorado lives on the same floor.
Lock her up and throw away the kitty.
So this guy right here has the right of it. This is a horrible thing to do. Lock her up, throw away the key. She is not qualified to be doing this stuff in the United States of America, and we can't have this nonsense happen, especially, again, with all these unsanitary conditions. However, when I thought that the neighbors had the right of it, I may have stretched a little bit, because this neighbor had the right of it, but there's actually defenders of this woman in this apartment. There are people who say, no big deal, don't worry about it.
Other neighbors came to Serrano's defense.
She is a very nice lady. I don't know why they're making this a big deal because she has a degree in El Salvador. She's a real dentist.
Miriam Kai, who says she's a teacher that has lived in this building since 1978, says she and Serrano are both from El Salvador.
So a couple of things. If it is true that this woman is licensed to perform dentistry in El Salvador, then maybe that makes it a tiny bit better. But one of my suggestions, if you're a dentist in El Salvador, is maybe practice dentistry in El Salvador and not in the United States of America. Secondly, that doesn't change the fact that these were very unsanitary conditions. In addition to that, she talks about how people are afraid, they're terrified to go to the hospital, to go to the dentist, because they're undocumented, they don't have papers in the Latino community, and this is madness to all different degrees.
Most of the Latino people, they are afraid to go into the hospital because they don't have a paper or because it's more expensive. But I know how difficult it is for people who doesn't have insurance to get the help they really need.
Look, all this occurred in Long Island, and you guys should know that Long Island is not under the jurisdiction of New York City. But in addition to New York City being a sanctuary city, New York State is a sanctuary state. There is nothing that is going to happen to you as an illegal migrant if you go to the emergency room, and one of the reasons why we know this is that illegal migrants fill up emergency rooms all the time, and they never get deported for it. So the idea that, oh, this is the only option for them, and they just can't afford insurance, and you should just let this go, is absurd on every possible level, especially since she charged the woman $2,000, and I just explained to you how you can get an insurance policy for $600 that will cover $2,500 of care annually, and that is significantly less than the $2,000 that she charged right there. And I understand you might pay a little more at a dental office for those procedures, but guess what? You probably won't need to have all those teeth pulled at a regular dental office because they're actually incentivized and they want to save your teeth. Real dentists will work with you to save your teeth, and they will only pull them if they're absolutely necessary. So the fact that she was taking advantage of poor people or undocumented people doesn't make it better. It makes it significantly worse, in my opinion. And yes, she should be arrested for this.
Donnelly says there are affordable legal avenues with no citizenship questions asked.
There are options out there. Nassau University Medical Center offers community dentistry, Stony Brook University, NYU.
So I actually didn't complete watching this full video until right now. I didn't realize that the district attorney was going to back up my points, because after I heard this woman talk about how this fake dentist wasn't so bad, I decided to shoot this video almost immediately. But yeah, there are other options. You can go to universities and get dental services. There is charity care. And again, dental care, unlike other medical care in the United States of America, isn't extraordinarily expensive. It can be in certain instances, don't get me wrong. I understand a lot of you might have bad experiences, but comparatively to what you pay for regular ordinary medical care, because some people do pay out of pocket and there's better price transparency, you're not paying all that much. Again, especially when you compare it to regular ordinary healthcare in the United States of America. On top of that, many a dental office will offer you payment plans that could be interest-free and all these other things to work with you to get you the help that you need, because they want you to come back for your regular ordinary cleanings, because long term that's going to help them out more than just trying to charge you or denying you care. Again, this doesn't need to be this way.
Meanwhile, Gladys Serrano pleaded not guilty here yesterday. She's due back in court next month. She's out with an ankle monitoring bracelet. Again, the district attorney's office is asking if anyone recognizes her and saw her as a patient, as a dentist. You're asked to contact them.
And if you ever find yourself in someone's one-bedroom apartment behind a shower curtain on a garbage-looking dental chair with some sketchy tools that are all stacked on top of each other with some sketchy medication from El Salvador or from Central America, just get up and get the hell out of the chair. Please, from me to you, from AJW to everybody out there in the audience, don't do it, okay? Can we all agree on that? Anyway, that's all I really have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, show them by leaving a like, subscribe for more content, follow me on my social media, support me with the support links in the description of this video. This has been me talking about an unlicensed dental scam in Long Island. Till next time.